We are going to make a better drill. That's the key. And if you make me an equal partner, I'll show you how to make this company the best there is. Oh, I remember when I first proposed that idea to the 6 owners of the George R. Rich Manufacturing Company. How could I be so presumptuous? How indeed. I had an idea, and I knew it would work. And that's how the Selfer Tool Company started. A good idea and a lot of hard work. Ah, we changed that original drill design so many times. And I remember in 1909, I made a trip to Europe. They had discovered a new process for casting steel in an electrical furnace. Can you imagine? An electrical furnace. We grew, and the country grew. Railroads, electricity. It was an exciting time. Everybody's attitude centered on growth, especially at the Selfer Tool Company. In 1910, we opened our second plant. We called it the Buchanan Electric Steel Company. I remember one of our board meetings after we had had 2 consecutive months of profit. Gentlemen, new technologies often create new problems. But we will always seek to maintain the highest quality for each shipment we create. We must be known as producers of high-grade, quality steel castings. Well, as we continued to grow, our skills as a manufacturing company grew. And we began producing steel disc wheels for automobiles, even though I personally never believed the automobile would amount to anything more than a frivolous luxury. When R.J. Burroughs, an engineer, joined the company, we developed an internal gear-driven axle for trucks, and it eventually replaced the chain drive that was being used. Our skills, our attitudes, our knowledge, our work habits were all geared to growth. 1916, we merged the Selfer Tool Company and the Buchanan Electric Steel Company. We called it the Clark Equipment Company. Imagine that. Ah, those were some years, the birth of our company. You see, in 1916, the original Clark lift truck was invented. It was kind of an afterthought to our axle business. We needed a machine to move axles from one part of the plant to another. A simple problem that led our employees to the discovery of the truck tractor. Through skill, ingenuity, a positive attitude, we entered the material handling age. By 1927, a prototype for what would be the modern lift truck was completed. It could lift a load, move it anywhere, and stack it. A new generation was about to begin. And then came the war years. Those were the boom years for Clark Equipment. The company was catapulted into the dominant position in the business of material handling. All over the world, the name Clark meant lift truck, and that's how it is today. Clark's business is divided into 3 product groups. The General Products Group, which includes the Melrose operation, the Construction Machinery Group, and the Material Handling Group. Over 22,000 employees produce products in 15 major manufacturing plants in the United States, with 10 additional plants in Canada, France, Germany, Belgium, Australia, Argentina, and Brazil. Licensees manufacture our products in Mexico, Japan, Poland, Romania, South Africa, England, Spain, India, Taiwan, and New Zealand. The twist drills and the reamers disappeared long ago. Eugene Clark is gone, but much of his experience and the experience of his successors remains. That experience provides the heritage the people at Clark strive for. An example of their thinking is reflected in these words spoken by George Spada, the 3rd president of Clark Equipment Company. Shortly after the turn of the century, Eugene B. Clark and a group of associates organized a business to manufacture metal cutting drills and reamers. One of its early payrolls lists only 35 names. That tiny industrial seed had the good fortune to be planted during the period of American industry's golden age. It was tended by men of tremendous energy and wholesome ambition. It was blessed by the invigorating climate of a free, competitive economy. It flourished, multiplied itself, and within 50 years attained the stature of a big and useful business. Those founders of Clark Equipment Company possessed no exclusive privileges to give them competitive advantage, but they did possess assets vastly more important. They were blessed with the understanding that every buyer wants better value for his money. They felt certain that they could produce those better values. They knew that they could hustle for business and hold it. They had the imagination to recognize that America's industrial development guaranteed a constantly increasing market. They were convinced that a carefully managed business can prosper and grow, if it deserves to grow, by making itself indispensable to the society it serves. Above all, Clark's founders had this purpose to guide them: to make the name Clark a respected symbol of fine engineering and good construction. How well they succeeded is written in the performance record of their company's products and in the history of its growth. Out of 5 fruitful decades have come 2 priceless assets: a wealth of unique experience and a reputation for building good products.
In 1974, Clark Equipment Company embarked upon the largest program of new construction in its history. This film reports on the progress of that expansion through the employees, the dealers, and the customers of the company.
Clark Equipment Company. Thank you.
Clark and Mülheim, guten Tag.
Oui, Clark Strasbourg.
Einen Moment bitte.
Equipaments Clark's, bom dia.
Clark Equipment.
Clark Automotive.
Clark Central Parts in Mülheim.
Clark Component Distribution Center.
We turned around and took a look at the future and said, okay, we've got to do what we know how to do, and we're going to have to do it well.
Clark has definitely taken a big step ahead.
Clark seems to be moving very fast.
This is the new Clark. This is where Clark is going.
There's nothing like success to breed success.
I think this is a real investment for Clark in the future.
I think Clark has an excellent reputation worldwide.
I think the reputation's built on people.
We're working as a team.
It's like a bunch of good friends working together all the time. It's like one big happy family.
They built Clark on quality. This is what they're pursuing, and they always will.
For 3/4 of a century, Clark Equipment has built quality products to serve a world on the move. Today, a major reinvestment program in the company's traditional product lines is opening a new world for Clark at home and abroad. Ever since the turn of this century, when Eugene Clark established his manufacturing business,
of product engineering knowledge.